Picture this. It's a Tuesday night. You're sitting at your kitchen table, laptop open, half-eaten dinner pushed to the side. You've got a spreadsheet open that's supposed to make sense of your finances, and it looks like someone let a kindergartner loose with a calculator. The numbers don't add up. They never seem to add up. And somewhere between the student loan payment that went out this morning and the car registration you forgot was due, you get this quiet, creeping feeling that everyone else figured this out already, and you somehow missed the memo. That feeling has a name. It's called your 30s. And here's what nobody tells you when you cross that threshold. Your 20s were about surviving. Your 30s are about deciding. The financial moves you make this decade don't just affect next month's bank statement. They echo forward. Either you're genuinely comfortable later, or you're still clocking in at a job you should have left a decade ago. My name is Victor. I break down money in a way that actually makes sense for real people. Hit subscribe if that sounds useful. Let's get into it. Number 1. Kill your consumer debt. Every last dollar of it. People treat debt like background noise, like it's just part of life in your 30s and you manage around it. That's the trap right there. Think about carrying a hiking pack, fully loaded, straps digging into your shoulders, and someone tells you to sprint. That's what consumer debt does to your finances. Credit cards, car loans, personal loans, that furniture you financed 3 years ago and somehow still owe money on. All of it is dead weight fighting against every dollar you earn. Your 30s are your prime earning years, which means the cost of carrying debt right now is at its absolute peak. If you're handing over $1,000 a month in payments, that's $12,000 a year that isn't building anything. Over 10 years, not counting what it could have grown into, that's $120,000 gone. Not spent on experiences, not invested, just paid straight into someone else's account. I've watched guys get a solid raise and just absorb it into monthly payments they've been carrying for years without even thinking about it. Same debt, better salary, still stressed at the end of every month. It's not an income problem. It's a drain problem. The mortgage gets a pass. Everything else has to go. Number 2. Build an 800 credit score and protect it like it actually matters. Most people think a credit score is just something lenders care about, like it doesn't really affect you unless you're borrowing money soon. That thinking is wrong, and it's an expensive way to be wrong. On a $400,000 home, which, let's be honest, barely gets you a 2-bedroom in most cities right now, the difference between a good credit score and an excellent one can cost you $50,000 over the life of the loan. Same house, same neighborhood, 50 grand more, just because your score wasn't quite where it needed to be. And here's the part that should genuinely bother you. One late payment, just one, can drop your score by up to 180 points and follow you around for 7 years. Not a financial crisis, not a job loss, just a bill you forgot to pay 1 month. That single moment of not paying attention can cost you more than most people make in a year. Pay on time, every time. Keep your credit utilization under 10%. Don't open accounts you don't actually need. Don't close old cards unless they're charging you annual fees you can't justify. Most people don't take any of this seriously until it's already cost them something significant. Don't wait until you're sitting in front of a mortgage officer to figure out why your rate is higher than you expected. Number 3. Build a real financial plan, not just a vague intention. This is the milestone most people skip, and it's the one where things quietly fall apart over time. There's a meaningful difference between a plan and an intention. An intention is telling yourself you should probably save more. A plan is knowing exactly how much you need, where it's going, and what it needs to do once it gets there. Your 30s are the first time in your life when 5 major financial priorities hit you at the same time. Retirement, a house, kids, emergency savings, and in a lot of cases, aging parents who need help. Without a real plan tying all of that together, you're not managing your money. You're just reacting to it. Every month becomes a fire drill where you're figuring out which problem is loudest and throwing money at that one. Map it out. Retirement contributions, tax strategy, savings rate, estate documents, investment allocation. Figure out how all of it connects. And if that feels like too much to sort through on your own, a financial planner at this stage isn't a luxury. It's what having an actual strategy costs. Number 4. Stack a real emergency fund. And this one matters more than most people realize. 3 months of expenses felt like a cushion back in your 20s. In your 30s, 3 months is barely a speed bump. Your life is more expensive now. The stakes are higher. A broken furnace, a kid's ER visit, a car that decides to die on the highway on a Wednesday morning. These things aren't hypotheticals you're planning for somewhere in the future. They're just Tuesday. The target is 6 to 12 months of living expenses sitting in a high-yield savings account, liquid and ready to go when you need it. But here's what this fund actually buys you that nobody talks about. It buys you options. Think about the guy who stays in a job he hates because he genuinely can't afford to quit. There's nothing in the account. 2 weeks without a paycheck would be a crisis, and so he takes whatever his employer offers because he needs the money right now. The emergency fund is what prevents that situation. It's the difference between negotiating from a position of strength and taking whatever's on the table because you have no other choice. That's the real value of this. Not just financial security, but the ability to operate like a man who isn't backed into a corner. Number 5. Have 3 times your salary saved for retirement by the time you turn 40. The average 40-year-old earns around $62,000 a year, which means the target is roughly $186,000 in retirement savings by the time you hit that birthday. Here's the thing about compound interest that people understand on paper but don't actually feel until it's too late. It rewards early action more than it rewards big action. The guy who starts contributing at 28 and keeps it steady will almost always beat the guy who starts aggressively at 38, even if the second guy puts in more money. The math doesn't care how motivated you are. It cares how much time you gave it to work. This is where most people quietly lose the game. Not because they never contributed, but because they kept telling themselves they'd get serious about it after the next raise, after the next job change, after the next big life event. And by the time they finally got serious, they'd already burned through a decade of compounding they can never get back. Every raise, every bonus, every time you switch jobs, use it as a reason to bump your contribution percentage. Even a small increase, done consistently, is how this actually gets done. Number 6. Build real immunity to lifestyle inflation. This one doesn't announce itself. It doesn't show up as a single bad decision you can point to. It just quietly happens over time, and by the time you notice it, it's already been going on for years. You get a raise, so you move somewhere nicer. The bonus hits, so you upgrade the car. Your income goes up, so you start eating out more because you've earned it. And then one day you actually sit down and run the numbers and realize your savings rate is almost identical to what it was when you were making $30,000 less. The income went up, the lifestyle absorbed it, and the net worth barely moved. You've seen this guy. Nice truck, solid salary, always talking about how expensive everything has gotten, never really seems to be getting ahead. It's not that everything got more expensive, it's that every dollar he made, his lifestyle quietly swallowed. He kept upgrading what his life looked like without actually upgrading what his life was worth on paper. And he's going to figure that out somewhere in his mid-50s in a way that's going to be painful. The way you beat this is by automating it before your brain has a chance to come up with a better use for the money. Every time your income increases, redirect at least half of that increase into savings or investments before it ever shows up in your checking account. You genuinely don't miss money you never had the chance to see. Number 7. Get your estate planning done. Nobody wants to think about this one. I didn't want to think about it either, and I put it off for a long time, telling myself it was for older people, for people with more money, for people with more complicated situations than mine. Then a guy I know had a serious medical emergency in his late 30s. No will, no power of attorney, nothing in writing. And watching what his wife had to navigate while she was already dealing with the worst thing that had ever happened to her made it very clear to me that putting this stuff off isn't being relaxed about it. It's just being irresponsible. This isn't about planning for death. It's about making sure that if something unexpected happens, the people who depend on you aren't left sorting through chaos at the worst possible moment. Who raises your kids if something happens to you? Who makes medical decisions if you can't make them yourself? What happens to your house, your retirement accounts, your life insurance? Without documentation, those decisions get made by a court, not by you, not by your family, by a judge who doesn't know any of you. A basic will and power of attorney is not complicated or expensive to set up. Stop putting it off. Number 8. Start treating your health like the financial asset it actually is. Most people in their 30s treat their health like a problem they'll deal with someday when life slows down a little. The problem is that life doesn't slow down, and the bill for ignoring this comes due whether you're ready for it or not. The average American spends over $300,000 on healthcare over the course of their lifetime. The habits you build right now, moving consistently, eating food that actually does something for you, getting enough sleep, managing stress before it manages you, can cut that number significantly. And that's before you even account for the sick days you don't take, the mental sharpness you keep, and what it costs professionally to operate at half capacity for a decade straight. Here's what nobody says out loud. Your 30s are when the grace period ends. Recovery takes longer than it used to. The weight doesn't come off the same way it did at 24. The damage you're quietly doing to yourself right now isn't going to announce itself today. It's going to show up at 50, and you're going to wish you had made different choices back when changing them was still relatively easy. You don't have to become a fitness obsessive. You just have to stop treating your body like something you'll deal with later, because later has a tendency to arrive faster than anyone expects. Number 9. Start your kids' college fund, even if you can only start small. College costs have doubled the rate of inflation for 30 straight years. A public university today runs over $40,000 a year when you factor in room, board, and everything else. Private schools are pushing $70,000, and there is no realistic signal anywhere that this trend is going to reverse. Here's where most people mess this one up. They look at those numbers, feel overwhelmed, and do nothing. They tell themselves they'll figure it out when the time gets closer. But the time gets closer faster than you think, and starting late on this one is genuinely expensive. A 529 plan grows tax-free, and when you use it for qualified education expenses, withdrawals are tax-free too. A lot of states will even give you a deduction just for putting money in. Even $50 a month, started today, has 15 to 18 years to compound before tuition is ever due. You don't need to fund your kids' entire education right now. You just need to stop waiting, because every year you wait is a year of growth you're leaving on the table. Number 10. Build real financial confidence, not just financial accounts. This last one isn't about hitting a specific number in your accounts. It's about actually understanding your own financial situation well enough to make good decisions without panicking every time something changes. The kind of confidence I'm talking about is knowing whether you're on track. Being able to look at your finances clearly and make a call without spiraling. Understanding what you own and why you own it. So when the market drops and everyone around you is losing their mind, you know whether you need to do something or whether you just need to wait. Most people never build this because they treat their finances like something to avoid until it becomes urgent. They check the account when a bill hits. They look at the retirement balance when they feel guilty about it. They manage everything in crisis mode instead of building a clear, working picture of where they actually stand and where they're actually going. Every other milestone on this list matters, but if you don't understand how they all connect, you're just collecting accounts without actually having a strategy. The goal is to understand your financial life well enough that you're the one making the decisions, not just reacting to whatever happens next. Look, most guys in their 30s have made some smart moves and let a few things slide. That's not a character flaw. That's just life moving fast while you were busy handling everything else. But the men who end up genuinely financially secure, not just getting by, actually secure, they weren't smarter than everyone else. They just got honest about one or two things that needed fixing and started early enough for the math to work. That's really the whole difference. Pick the one thing on this list that you already know you've been avoiding. Not the easiest one. The one that's been sitting in the back of your head. Start there, and start this week. That matters a lot more than having a perfect plan you never actually do anything with.